Hi, I'm Tom Miggett from Tom Miggett Photography. This is a new episode of Capture It with Tom's Friends, and today my friend is Christopher Ward. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Tom.
How you doing?
Not too bad, thank you.
So Chris and I have followed each other for nearly a year now, and we got to know each other through Pictography, which is a group on Facebook, a photography group on Facebook, and I had done a video last year talking about it. Chris is based in Dorset. I've seen Chris shooting landscape photography, doing pretty much a lot of things, but I must say, in the past year or so, it seems that you focused on boudoir and portraits, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's something I'm really interested in. I've always been interested in people. So it was kind of, in my eyes, a good idea to take that step with my photography and capture people doing what they do best, really.
And how long have you been shooting overall?
3 years altogether. 2 years I've actually turned my focus to portraits.
Okay. And how did you approach photography at the beginning?
Oh, well, at the beginning, you know, like any amateur, any novice, I had a bridge camera to start with, and I just snapped everything. Portraits of my children, landscapes, I was doing macro photography. I pretty much done it all to see what I liked, you know. And it wasn't till I bought my first DSLR that I really concentrated on what I wanted to do most.
And your first DSLR, that was 3 years ago?
That was about 2 years ago, first DSLR.
Okay. Is that the same DSLR you're using today?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe, well, I know for sure because we talked before this video, and before I unveil the camera, and we're going to talk a little bit about this. One of the reasons why I wanted to share with you guys Chris and Chris's body of work is because I feel like with photography we are often faced, especially at the beginning, we're all faced with a dilemma. We don't know whether it's the gear that we have that is up to the task and prevents us from moving forward, or if it's us and the lack of skills and the lack of techniques. And knowing what Christopher uses really made me think about this episode and this interview, because Chris is actually... Tell us what camera you're using.
It's a Canon 1000D entry-level camera.
Okay, so you guys see it on the screen here. This is, we can say, it's the most basic DSLR on the market you can get, at least from Canon point of view. Then in terms of lenses, how many lenses do you have?
I own 2 lenses.
Okay, which are?
It's the kit lens, which is the 18-55.
Okay.
And the 50mm 1.8, the nifty 50.
Okay, which is the Mark II, I suspect, right?
It is, that's right, yeah.
Okay, so you guys see it here on the screen. So let's summarize. The cheapest camera on the market, the cheapest lens on the market. So let's go dive into Chris's world. Chris has a Flickr account where you can go, and I invite you to go there. You'll see the address on the screen, but you'll see the address as well in the description. So go check it out closer. And I picked up a few pictures just to get your insight of how the shoot went, how long ago, and what potential challenge you faced during that shoot. The first one that I'm looking at, Chris, is called Scene 3, and it's a beautiful girl laying on the silky bed sheet.
Yeah, yeah.
How long ago was that?
This was in May 2012. I shot this. My very first boudoir shoot. It was probably one of the most nervous shoots I've ever done in my life. But fun. Very fun.
Was it because it was the first one?
Yeah, I think so. because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're brand new to photography or you're well seasoned. You know, you want to get the shoot right. You know, so that's all you're focusing on. You know, you just want the model to go away with beautiful images that you've created. You know, and just do your best. You know, so it was very nerve-wracking for me.
Was she a friend of yours, or how did you find your model, your very first model? Because that's something that I think for a lot of people who are interested in shooting portraits, and even worse when it comes to boudoir intimate portrait, is where do I find my model? All right, I only have one girlfriend.
Well,
for the lucky ones.
Well, what I did is I used a site called Star Now. And I put an advert up for a boudoir shoot, and within, I believe, an hour, Emma here, she actually replied to it, and we set something up. It was that simple. I think if you're going to get your first model, when you advertise for a model on these sites, you need to be 100% clear what you're doing, what your aim is, you know, so the model feels comfortable in, you know, your plans. That was basically it. And once I got her into the studio, it was kind of, you know, talk to her, gain her trust, you know, make her feel comfortable, and, you know, shoot. You know, so it is really simple if you're upfront and honest and you're informative.
Was it time for print, or was it a paid model? Or?
It was time for print, yeah.
Okay.
Time for print.
And for those of you guys who are thinking about going that way and experience this type of photography, do not be afraid of relying on time for print. Right? There's a lot of girls out there, girls and guys, and in general, there are a lot of models out there that are just as interested as you are of getting nice photography and going with the experience of shooting, especially when, even if you're a novice, you know, those people, they look at your work and they see that you've got potential, and you may never know where that's going to lead that person, and God knows how it's going to pay off afterwards. You know, you may get some good recognition later on if that works out. So any opportunity is a good opportunity. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
And where was that shoot? I mean, where was that shot? Was there a lot of space where you shot it? Because that's often when you do boudoir, people tend to say, "Oh, I don't want to go to a hotel. I don't have a nice apartment. I don't have a big room." Where did you go?
This is my bedroom we're looking at, which is a 4 meter by 3 meter bedroom. Okay, is a double bed. Basically, I bought the red sheets, dressed up the bed as best I could, and we shot. You know, it meant that I had to use the wide angle of my kit lens, but we still got the shot. You know, I used 2 umbrellas for the setup, 2 speed lights, and it was a lighting sandwich. So from what you're seeing now, either side of the bed is a speed light, and that was it. You know, I just had to make do with what I had, try and fit into the space that I had, and do my absolute best.
I think it really worked out. She's really gorgeous in that.
Yeah.
In that photograph, it's brilliant. It's sensual. It's classy. It's really good. Move on to the next one, and I must admit, guys, all those shots are going to be in order, so you can appreciate the progression. The next one is not a portrait at all. I picked that one up because I found it very, very interesting, and that's the Till Death Do Us Part picture. I find it interesting because actually one of my questions to Chris early on was the heart shape. Was that actually done in post-production, or is it just the natural cause of effect of light and shadows in the room? And Chris said, no, this is exactly how I shot it. So, you know, I found this extremely creative, and it's really, really great. So I just think it's inspiring. Moving back to a model, this is great. This is the girl sitting in a field of barley or some cereal of some sort. Very spring type of photograph. I really like it. Can you tell us a bit about this?
Right. Okay. Well, this was my first location shoot. I've never dealt with natural light before this time, and basically I took the model down into a local field, and we've done some shoots, and this was actually the model's idea. Let's go in the long grass. Well, we started shooting, we were standing up in the long grass, and I said to the model, you know, let's get down nice and low, and let's try and use my lens at 2.8. It was almost like a practice for me, you know. This model's great, by the way, you know, she's loads of ideas, you know, let me try anything photographically. So we get down into the grass and we start shooting. As you can see, you know, the actual long grass is throwing a lot of harsh shadow. Now, that's something that I would try and rectify now, but at the time, it was just purely experimentation. You know, how can we make a shot look good with kind of all this distraction in the way, and using the sunlight, and this is what we come up with.
I think it's very interesting. Some people may argue that it's messy and it's not clean, but I find it interesting. It looks natural to me. I quite like it, I must admit. It's a nice shot, a nice huge of a wide aperture, a good exercise that turned out as very artsy. I really like it. Moving on to the next one, we're changing totally the style here. This is Amy. This is the back, her back, wearing just underwear. I totally love it. It's a black and white, nice image. What I really like about it is people, when they think about portraits in general, they always wonder how they're going to edit it in Photoshop, and people always think, oh, an image that looks great, especially a half nude or a nude image that looks great, has been heavily photoshopped and it's unrealistic and so on, because they think of magazines. But here, knowing you, I know that you did not use Liquify in Photoshop.
No.
And in fact, guys, if you really look closely, you can see that you can feel the pores and the texture of the skin and of the underwear. It looks absolutely amazing. Can you tell us a bit, when was that shot?
This was shot back in March this year.
This year, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So we jumped a whole year. And in terms of lighting, how did you do that?
Basically, this was a 2-light setup. Okay, 2 camera left. I had a 600 by 600 softbox. So one of the real cheap £20, you know, softboxes. That's all it was.
600 by 600. Is that the 24-inch one, the square one?
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I have those.
That's it. Directly diagonal to that, I had a bare strobe speed light, and basically what I wanted to do with this lighting is throw enough light with the key light, but then really highlight one side of the body, because I knew using a bare strobe would allow me to kind of bring the texture out in the skin, and it'll just create this awesome lighting, you know, down one side of the body. And I shot the whole set, you know, exactly like that. I didn't change the lighting in no way. You know, the power was all the same. And that, you know, that was it for the whole shoot. It was very simple, you know, and it wasn't something I planned. It was about 2 hours before the shoot. I thought, well, you know, I'm going to do this. I was going to go with a 1-light setup, and I thought, no, I'm going to have a kicker light, you know, because I really want to set these images off, and I kind of want to almost put like a film noir kind of look, you know, to a boudoir shoot. I've not seen it before, so I thought I'd try it, and this was my result. You know, I was really happy with it. The model was really happy with it. You know, it was a good shoot. Good shoot.
Yeah. No, I really love it. In fact, it kind of reminded me of there was an underwear brand in France, and they had a
Right.
great marketing um, campaign that lasted for several years, and it was all about the lesson of seduction, and every
Yeah.
single picture was a lesson. So you had lesson number one, lesson number two, and each time it was the same girl, but you would never see the face. And it's only several years later that it came. The model, who was actually very famous in France,
Yeah.
came out in a sense, and it was really amazing. Does that campaign ring any bell to you? Have you seen that?
It doesn't. No, I've not seen that at
Okay,
all.
well, going back to your picture,
Yeah.
fantastic work. Totally love it. Moving to
Thank
the
you.
next one as well, which is the same from the same photo shoot. The same girl, Amy. She's now laying on the bed and putting makeup on. Was it shot at your house, in your bedroom, on your bed again?
No, this time. This time, what I did was I actually dragged my bed into my front room, where I have a white wall. Um, I dressed the bed up in this, a simple white sheet, and I worked from there. It was it was one of those situations. You know, the first boudoir I done, I found myself in a tight spot, so I moved it to the next room. I had a bit more freedom. Not as much freedom as a big hotel room, but a bit more freedom, and that allowed me to get a bit more creative with my lighting, with the angles of my shots, and also with the depth of field as well. Because I could stand back a fair way and shoot at f3.2, I believe it was, and I got lovely depth of field in the image. So I was really happy with that.
The when you shoot, do you actually tether?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends.
Okay.
Um, if I got a room full of equipment at the time, I probably wouldn't ever.
Mhm. Okay, just for you guys who are novice and do not know what I'm talking about by tethering, basically is plugging your camera to a display or to your computer, and so you can see immediately rather than relying on your back LCD screen, the tiny 2-inch or 3-inch LCD display you've got at the back of your camera. You can actually see the result in a pseudo calibrated screen of your laptop or your main computer, so it enables you to actually judge better. It just helps. If you can
Yeah,
do it, then I definitely encourage you guys to do that. But a really nice picture as well. Again, black and white beauty, nice texture on the skin, really nice use of the depth of field. I really love it. It's really nice. So how did you find this model? Was it Style Now again, or?
no, what I did was I met this girl about a year ago through Facebook, and I was just chatting to her one day, and I said, you know what, you'd make a fantastic model. And we talked about some ideas, and she came up and we did the shoot. You don't need fancy websites or anything like that to actually find a model. You can ask anyone to model for you. You just got to do it the right way. So you can approach someone and say, I've got this idea and I think you would be perfect for it. Talk it through, and if they're comfortable with it, set a date. So, yeah, that's what I tend to do more so now.
That's well. This is the whole series I wanted to share you guys. If that interests you, definitely go check out the rest of Chris's work. One thing as well I need to mention is, as Chris said, in the past year or so, he focused on boudoir and portraiture. And tell us a bit more about your group, because Chris has a great group on Facebook.
Okay, well, the first thing I wanted to do with the group was there were plenty of photography groups over the internet, on Facebook, and 9 times out of 10 they are based around photography as a whole. With someone like myself that doesn't really shoot a lot of landscapes or do a lot of macro, I wanted to create a place where everyone could come to if they was interested in boudoir or shooting portraits. And this is what this group was all about. if you come to this group, you will find by flicking through that there's a few tips, tutorials there. You know, when I do a boudoir shoot, I post up an image. I tell them how I did it. You know, what the lighting is, even down to where I got my model from. And I try to inspire people to, you know, give it a go. You know, because that's what photography is about. It shouldn't be secret, or it shouldn't be a private thing that only certain people know. You know, we've got to share our knowledge. You know, if we find a lighting system that works, you know, a lighting plan, you know, share it. Get it out there and let people try it.
That's right. And since you're talking about tips, I think it would be interesting as well to mention that you have a nice, very informative blog as well, where you give some behind-the-scene information. And I have it right here, so it's kinphotography.blogspot.co.uk. That link will show up as well in the description. But guys, I invite you to go there. It's really amazing. As Chris said, he's very, very generous, because as he goes along and he builds his experience, he will tell you what, without fear, you know, of spilling the secret. He will tell you how he actually shot his exposures and the tricks that he used, and really encourage you to reproduce it as well. So it's I think it's really, really good. And take the opportunities of all those photographers, professional, amateurs, enthusiasts, who are very, very skilled and passionate in photography, that are willing to work with you. And you know, for those of you as well wants to talk to Chris, you can join him in the Boudoir and Portraits group on Facebook. I know Chris is also as well on our group, guys, on Tommy Got Photography Club. So do not hesitate to post any pictures, whether it's portrait, boudoir, anything that you like, or to send a message to Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be it for today. Chris, thank you so much for doing this with me and with us, sharing a little bit of your world, and hopefully people will be interested and go check what you do and join you in the group. All right, and until next time, guys, this is Tommy saying, if you like it, well, capture it.